morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna go out and get some oil this morning, some vegetable oil, and I thought I'd bring you along for that and show you how I collect it. I get it from three. Well, I used to get it from 3 restaurants, but now only 2. One's a Chinese restaurant, and the other one's an A&W. And the 3rd restaurant was just a summer chip shop on the beach, but they've closed now for the winter, so I'm just down to the 2 restaurants. And I use about 55 gallons a month, 55 to 75 gallons of oil a month. So the one restaurant just about covers it, but sometimes I top up from A&W as well. So I thought I'd bring you along for that and show you my process of collecting it. It's all kind of homemade parts and scrap bits and whatnot, so it works really good. So the truck's running great. It's on 90% vegetable oil and 10% gasoline, and it's now down to 8 degrees centigrade, so that's about 46 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's running perfect. I do plug it in the mornings now, though, just to warm up the engine block to thin the oil out. But I'm in the process of building a 2-tank system, and I'll bring you along for that in the future. But for now, we're still on the single tank. I've ordered all the bits and pieces, and I go down in a week's time down to Danville and pick those up and start building that tank. I'm building the tank as we speak, but I have to wait till I get all the fittings. Yeah, really happy with this veg oil. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought I'd be running vegetable oil in this truck. And if it wasn't for my friend Chris giving me his system, I wouldn't be doing this. But it's costing me about $10 to $15 a week US. And every 2 weeks I collect oil, so it's I'd say I spend about, say, 30 minutes, half an hour every week on this thing, and fuel costs are 10 to 15 bucks, so it makes my my time worth it. I'm saving about 200 to 300 bucks a month, and in my opinion, that's worth it. So anyway, I'll bring you back when we're at the restaurant. All right, here we are at the first restaurant, and it's a 45 or 55 gallon drum. And that's the goodness that I run the truck on. That's it right there. That's I don't know, about 25 gallons or so, maybe 20 gallons. And this is my contraption I use to collect the oil. It's just a 350 small block oil pump and an electric scooter motor. We use these little filters on the end to collect the oil. It keeps all the bits out, if there are any bits. colder weather's here. And as it gets colder, this oil gets thicker. So I'm not sure how this is going to work in the winter when it's really cold. But we'll find out soon enough. I made an oral agreement with this guy. Oh, again, if you're collecting this oil, make sure you talk to the owners of it and get an agreement with them to collect it, because if you don't, you're essentially stealing the oil. So I forgot to say that. All right. Yeah, it seems to be struggling a little bit with the thicker oil now. This is really good oil. This guy keeps his vats really clean. It's a darker oil, but it's good oil. And there's the machine there. Takes about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So that's about it. Get that last little bit. And there you have it. That's all we do. So that was about 3 minutes, guys. So now it's off to A&W. Not for breakfast though. Okay, here's the A&W bin. There's lots of oil in this, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it's probably 300 gallons. One, you got to be careful with these big bins, because you want to be just below the surface and not at the bottom, because these bins have a lot of fat at the bottom. So, you know, that's nasty. Alright, well, we've got as much as we can get out of here. I'll show you. It's almost a full tank. But what happens with these big bins, you can see the hose is collapsed So we'll shut it down, and this is what happens when you get near the bottom. It picks up the fat, and that's the stuff you don't want. So I bring 2 of these along, one there and then the other one, and once those get plugged, that's it. I basically get a full tank, and then you can see we took about 4.5 inches out of that tank. So I'll wait another month and come back again. This is the stuff you don't want. This is the water and the fat and the french fries and the nuggets and stuff. So, like I said, I don't like to make a mess, so leave it like I found it, and I didn't make a mess, and that's it. Happy people. All right, so now that we have the oil, I simply transfer it to this drum. Mind the mess, I had a bit of a spill, so I put some floor dry on it. Okay. So this is a 24 volt scooter motor, and I'm only running it off at 12 right now. If I really wanted to increase the performance, I could always put 24 volts on it, but it's adequate. It fills this drum in about 6 minutes, as long as there's no restrictions. Oh boy, we're getting full. It's almost full. These 4 drums settle, and by the time it gets to here, we use about a drum a month. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 months of settling. And I drain off the contaminants off the bottom, and then every month I drain this drum out. So I transfer that drum over to my final settling system. So it goes 4 months, 3 to 4 months, and then I transfer it to here. I'll link it below. I'll put a link below. I've already covered this whole system. So I transfer it into here, and it slowly gets filtered down through settling another 3 months, and then it gets put in that 320 gallon drum, and then I pump it into my truck. And on the bottoms of these 2 drums and that other drum, I've got 3 drums where I can drain the sediment off. And I drain these once a week. I drain 1 liter out of each drum. And this one too. They're all clear now. This drum's super clear. So oil is super clean. I've got no issues anymore with filters, plugging, or anything of that nature. The truck's running perfect on it. So what's next is a 2-tank system. And that's what I'm going to build now. So I'll make another video for that, but a quick little look here. This is going to be the heater. Goes in the top of the tank. I've got my fittings for the Voss push locks. I'm converting those to AN fittings because I'm using AN hoses and fittings. And here's the tank, an aluminum tank. It was used for veg oil before, so I got to wash it out because it's got syrupy, nasty goodness in the bottom. But anyway, we'll wash that out, and it's got the fittings on it already to pick up the fuel, transfer the fuel in, and then I've ordered a new fuel gauge. I've got my Raycor 4400. It's got a water detector, a 200 watt heater, and it's got a return fuel heat system on it with a thermostat, and then my my heat exchanger. I mentioned before, this is an old Isuzu EGR cooler. And again, guys, thanks for checking in. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.